Hello everyone, I am Nivedita Chinna from Ambika Prasad Research Foundation. Welcome to all of you to our channel Biodiversity and Conservation. Today we are going to learn about the antidiarrheal activities. So let's start. So first we have to know that what is diarrhea first. Diarrhea is the passage of three or more loose or liquid stools per day or more frequently that is normal for the individual, and it is usually a symptom of gastrointestinal infection which can be caused by a variety of bacterial, viral and parasitic organisms, and it involves fluid loss and therefore may eventually lead to dehydration, and dehydration should be monitored since it may lead to serious complications, particularly when it is accompanied by decreased urination, fast heart rate, paleness, and decreased level of consciousness. And diarrheal disease is said to be the second leading cause of death in children ages 5 years old and below, and it is also one of the causes of malnutrition of the same age group. And diarrhea is commonly caused by viral and bacterial infection and parasitic infestations. Non-infectious factors also lead to diarrhea, such as lactose intolerance, inflammatory bowel disease, and hyperthyroidism, etc. Coming to the types of diarrhea, one is acute diarrhea and another is chronic diarrhea. Acute diarrhea is the sudden onset of three or more loose stools per day, lasting less than 14 days. And the most common cause of acute diarrhea is an infection of the intestines, such as gastroenteritis or food poisoning, and viruses are responsible for most cases. And the common causes of this acute diarrhea is antibiotic associated diarrhea, artificial sweeteners, um, coronavirus disease, cryptosporidium infection, E. coli, food intolerances, etc. And the chronic diarrhea is defined as three or more loose stools daily for at least 4 weeks. There are many possible causes of chronic diarrhea, and the treatment is aimed at treating the underlying cause of diarrhea whenever possible, and forming of loose stools and dealing with any complications of diarrhea. And diarrhea is a symptom of infections caused by a host of bacterial, viral, and parasitic organisms, most of which are spread by feces, contaminated water. Infection is more common when there is a shortage of adequate sanitation and hygiene and safe water for drinking, cooking, and cleaning. And there are some common causes of diarrhea, and diarrhea may be caused by many things, including a bacterial infection, a virus, trouble digesting certain things, which is food intolerance, food allergies such as celiac disease, gluten allergy, and parasites that enter the body through food or water, a reaction to medicines, and intestinal disease such as inflammatory bowel disease, a problem with how your stomach and bowels work, such as irritable bowel syndrome, and a result of surgery on the stomach or gallbladder, recent antibiotic use, metabolic conditions such as thyroid problems, and other less common regions such as damage from radiation treatments or tumors that make to many hormones. So, these are the common causes of diarrhea. Then coming to the mechanism of antidiarrheals. So antidiarrheal work by decreasing the flow of fluids and the electrolytes into the bowel and slowing down the movement of the bowel to decrease the number of bowel movements. This allows more fluid to be absorbed into your body, which helps in having less diarrhea and more formed and bucky stools. And there are common mechanism of action. There are three common mechanism of action of antidiarrheal medications. One is adjuvants, which help eliminate the toxin or bacteria from the gastrointestinal tract. Antimotility agents, which slow peristalsis, and probiotics. which help to restore the normal bacteria found in the lower intestine. And oral rehydration agents may also be used in patients with diarrhea to replace fluid and electrolyte loss, but they do not treat the diarrhea. And antibacterial agents may also be used to treat diarrhea caused by specific infections such as Campylobacter or Giardia, but they are not routinely needed. The first one is adsorption, which is the addition of molecules to a surface. This process differs from absorption, where a substance is dissolved or penetrates into a surface. For example, bismuth subsalicylate is an example of an adsorbent, and the mechanism of action of this adsorbent is it works by coating the walls of the GI tract and binding the causative bacteria or toxin for elimination from the GI tract to the stool. And the bismuth subsalicylate also decreases the flow of fluids and electrolytes into the marl, reducing inflammation within the intestine. And then the anticholinergic mechanism of action is hyoscyamine is an anticholinergic that works on the smooth muscle of the GI tract to inhibit propulsive motility and decreases gastric acid secretion. And then coming to the opiates, the mechanism of action is the loperamide has an opioid-like chemical structure but causes fewer CNS effects. It works by decreasing the flow of fluids and electrolytes into the bowel and by slowing down the movement of the bowel to decrease the number of bowel movements, etc. So here are some antidiarrheal agents, including loperamide, diphenoxylate, diphenioxin, resicadotril, and anticholinergics including hyoscyamine and dicycloamine, and alpha-adrenergic receptor against clonidine. Somatostatin analog is octreotide, and adsorbent drugs including caloine, pectin, bismuth salicylate, and lactose, etc. Then here are some plants which are used against the diarrheal illness. The first one is Egle marmelis, and the second one is Pongamia glabra. The third one is Strychnos nox vomica, and the fourth one is Acarus calamus. Egle marmelis, the unripe fruit of Egle marmelis act as an antidiarrheal. According to reported studies, this unripe fruit is effective in chronic cases of diarrhea due to the presence of large quantities of mucilage, which act as an demulcent. And then coming to the Pongamia glabra, some experiment results indicated that the crude decoction of Pongamia glabra leaves has selective antidiarrheal action with efficacy against cholera and enteroinvasive bacterial strains causing bloody diarrheal episodes. And then coming to the Strychnos nox vomica, the root bark of Strychnos nox vomica is used as a remedy in chronic dysentery and also paralytic and other disorders. And then coming to the Acarus calamus, the rhizomes of the Acarus calamus plant widely used in the treatment of chronic diarrhea.